Random Golf Fact of the Day, episode 26. And today's episode is another Masters theme fact. Why do the caddies wear the white coveralls when they're at the Masters? You can see a couple of them behind me on the TV over there. Caddies wearing the white coveralls are a distinctive element unique to Augusta, and they have a long history that goes along with the tournament. When the tournament first started in the 30s, 1934 to be specific, players were not able to bring their own caddies, and the caddies would typically wear normal dress of the day. That is another interesting story that I may have to turn into a fact of the day. Anyway, caddies would typically wear dress of the day, and the players would not necessarily know their caddy at a personal level. They were employed by Augusta National. It wasn't until 1983 where players were allowed to bring their own caddy to the Masters. Now, the problem with having caddies you don't know dressed like people you don't know is that when you are playing, it becomes very difficult to know who the caddies are. For this reason, Clifford Roberts, who was one of the co-founders of Augusta and a club chairman, wrote a letter in 1940 suggesting that caddies should be given uniforms to make them distinctive from patrons attending both the Masters and the Augusta National Invitational. The initial uniforms were a blue denim, a green ball cap with a yellow button, and they would also be used during regular member play. In the late 1940s, that was switched to the white jumpsuits that we are much more familiar with. The initial ones were much heavier and much hotter for the caddies, but they did serve the purpose of being able to see them amongst the crowd. Today's uniforms are made of a polyester cotton blend. They feature a nameplate with the player's name on the back, and if a caddy writes to Augusta National, they can be sent the jumpsuit that they used during the Masters, but they are not automatically granted that to take home after the weekend. And while today's uniforms are much, much lighter than they were in the 1940s, as someone who dressed up as an Augusta caddy for Halloween a couple years ago, I can tell you that if it is humid and you are wearing that jumpsuit, it is still very hot. Leave me a comment and let me know who you're picking to win the Masters this weekend.